take on the intelligence community. They have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you.
A Manhattan jury's convicted Donald Trump of 34 felony counts.
What I've learned from this is that I'm not going to give sex workers hush money anymore.
The Department of Justice is done. The FBI is a joke. The judges are bought and paid for. The Clintons, with everything that they've done, Bill and Hillary, how many charges and how many trials?
None.
0. Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, documents, drugs, crack, guns. How many, PBD?
None.
Dr. Fauci, probably responsible for millions. Tom, how many?
Juries don't decide our election. You do. So do what's right. We can't take this anymore.
Hey fam, welcome back to One and Done. Well, the feelings have been mixed. I sort of half anticipated this was going to happen. In one of my earlier Donald Trump videos, I did mention when Joe Biden had accepted to do the debate that he must have known something. He must have known that he was going to be able to use the fact that Donald Trump is a convicted felon in his arguments in the debate. Now you can check out that video here if you want to hear my Nostradamus skills. Now, before we jump in, if you want to hit the like, smash the subscribe, ring the notification bell. Now, without delay, let's jump in. Roll that tape.
A Manhattan jury's convicted Donald Trump of 34 felony counts. This is the first time an American president has ever been convicted of a crime, but the only thing Trump's guilty of is beating Hillary and leading Joe Biden. The former president was expressionless as the verdict was read. Moments later, he walked to the cameras and reacted.
This was a disgrace. This was a rigged trial by a conflicted judge who was corrupt. It's a rigged trial, a disgrace. I'm a very innocent man, and it's okay. I'm fighting for our country. I'm fighting for our Constitution. Our whole country is being rigged right now. We'll keep fighting. We'll fight till the end, and we'll win, because our country's gone to hell. We don't have the same country anymore. We have a divided mess. We're a nation in decline, serious decline. Millions and millions of people pouring into our country right now, from prisons and from mental institutions, terrorists, and they're taking over our country. We have a country that's in big trouble, but this was a rigged decision right from day one with a conflicted judge who should have never been allowed to try this case, never. And we will fight for our Constitution. This is long from over.
And this is long from over. Trump will be sentenced on July 11th, a week before the Republican National Convention. Given his clean background, age, and presidential status, it's highly unlikely he'll be sentenced to prison, although this judge is capable of anything. He's a Biden donor and donates to a group called Stop Republicans. And he spent the last 6 weeks stopping the nation's strongest Republican from campaigning, and sometimes even talking. Trump will appeal, and will almost certainly win on appeal, but not until after the election. Not that it matters to Democrats. The Biden campaign salivating at the opportunity to call their opponent a convicted felon. This was never about the law. DA Alvin Bragg ran on fighting Trump, not crime. And everybody, when they walk around New York, knows he did his job.
I did my job. Our job is to follow the facts and the law without fear or favor. And that's exactly what we did here. I did my job. We did our job. Many voices out there. The only voice that matters is the voice of the jury, and the jury has spoken.
The number 3 guy in Biden's Justice Department left to help Bragg resurrect a dead case from 8 years ago and twist an NDA with a bimbo into 34 felonies. And a biased jury bought it. If silencing bimbo eruptions is a felony, then let's lock up Bill, Carville, and Stephanopoulos, who had their own war room fighting Stormies.
Well, Bragg's absolutely right. He did do his job. This is the job that the DOJ was expecting him to do. This is the job that the Dems, Biden, was expecting him to do. Now, why would someone leave a top job in the DOJ, head to New York, and work third under Alvin Bragg? It doesn't make sense. Now, Alvin Bragg, he is going to be in huge trouble in years to come. Now, this guy earns over $100,000 a year and has a net worth of $42 million. How do these politicians, they're on a great wage, but how do they end up multi-millionaires? Top elite class. Now, we know how Trump got there. Through hard work, perseverance. He He made mistakes, he fell down, he got back up, just like we're seeing him do right now.
And justice has been the theme since 2016. Dossiers, hoaxes, CIA and FBI plots, Fauci's pandemic cover-up. And after the last election, Trump's been surrounded with danger. His house was raided, his family's privacy violated. The feds given the authority to use deadly force. He's been fingerprinted, mugshot, gagged, censored. White substances sent to his kids' homes. And now unfairly convicted of a made-up crime in a Soviet-style show trial orchestrated by Democrats in their bluest venue. Hatred and fear dominate the Democrat ruling class. They hate Trump more than they love the country, and fear that you'll put him back in power. In that way, they hate you because power is all they love. And they're willing to do anything to cling to it. They're willing to destroy the rule of law. The Republic has been wounded by weak lawyers and talentless political bloodhounds, but remain confident that the American people's sense of fairness and justice will prevail, and that these evil men and women will be vanquished and the injustice rectified and the stain on our democracy washed away. Remain steady and calm and focused on the goal. Juries don't decide our election, you do. So do what's right. We can't take this anymore.
Them's are facts. Now, they've been chasing this guy so hard for so long. You know, you have to ask the question, and it's so obvious, they're doing too much. Why are you doing so much? Why do you want this guy so badly? When we've had other presidents that have done 10 times things more worse. And not only that, vice presidents, people in the Senate, you got the Clintons, you got the Obamas, the Bushes. We're talking about people on both sides. And this is the most disappointing thing. People should be up in arms for the country because you don't think that the other side's going to come back. Joe Biden and the Democrats, the deep state, they've opened Pandora's box. They've turned Donald Trump into an absolute hero. He's displaying all the characteristics that you want in a leader, someone that you want to represent you. He's showing grit, determination, and fight. He's not backing down. I don't know of another person that would take the persecution that this guy has taken. He's a father, he's a grandfather, and he's a businessman. He's thrown all the business stuff out the window. He cares about business, but I don't think he cares about it as much as he does for his country. And the more roadblocks the DNC are putting in front of him, the more of an alpha dog leader he looks like. And the DNC, they're playing right into his hands. This guy thrives on adversity. People love to tell you the guy went bankrupt. So what? He got back up? Look where he is now, worth over $6 billion. During the Obama administration, he saw how bad a job Obama was doing. He's gone like, I've got to put my hand up. If no one's going to change this country, I've got to change it. He had seen all the injustices. He said, forget about it. I'm not taking a wage. Don't pay me. I'm going to give this money to charity. When he entered the White House, he was worth around about $3.6 billion. When he left the White House, it was about $2.7 billion. He's one of the only presidents that went in wealthy and came out less wealthy. And this is self-made wealth, not doing dodgy deals, by being a career politician. Now check out this interesting video from the PBD podcast.
Play this clip what Chuck Schumer said about the power of the justice system. Go ahead.
He's taking these shots, this antagonism, this taunting to the intelligence community.
You take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you. Yeah. So even for a practical, supposedly hard-nosed businessman, he's being really dumb to do this.
What do you think the intelligence community would do if they were motivated?
I don't know, but from what I am told,
I agree 100%. The swamp, the deep state, those are and that little weasel with looking under his glasses. How can you even trust that? That guy represents us in Congress. And I think, listen, PBD, this verdict doesn't humiliate Trump. It's a humiliation on the country, on the United States. And for all the people out there that can't see this for what it is and are like praising and celebrating like the Don Lemons, they are the problem.
Oh, damn facts there, Vinny. And you guys have got to go check out Vinny's new podcast. It's fantastic. But Vinny's laid it all out in front of us, hasn't he? This guy is standing up for everybody's rights. He's putting himself in front of the firing line, putting himself in front of the squad. Now, this guy has got so much to lose. So much to lose. Like I said, they're turning him into a martyr.
Everything that Trump said, the deep state, the people, by the way, the Department of Justice is done. The FBI is a joke. The judges are bought and paid for. Let me ask you a question. The Clintons, with everything that they've done, Bill and Hillary, how many charges and how many trials?
None.
0. Okay, Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, documents, drugs, crack, guns. How many, PBD?
None.
Dr. Fauci, probably responsible for millions. Tom, how many? Bush Jr., Dick Cheney, everything that these people have done with all the deaths, with all the blood and all the stuff that they've done, this is what you're going to give the ex-president 35 counts, and these people are happy in the street. It's a sad day, PBD. And I'm so happy that when he said, you know how we're going to do this? That's a fighter. He said on November 4th, that's how we're going to show them that we're still going to win.
This guy is 77, about to turn 78. And this is the worst they could find on him? His whole life, his whole career, this is the worst they could find on him? A crime that doesn't even make sense, that should never have gone to trial? A misdemeanor? It makes you wonder what lengths they will go to. They will go to all ends of the earth to stop this man, no matter what. I think everybody needs to stand behind him.
And that's it, because you said this today. The only other way, his character assassination, now they're going after his money. They've knocked those two out. They will stop at nothing to stop this guy because he's all for us. He's been saying it since day one. And I've seen videos, Pat. We've all seen this. Everybody out there that's watching this have seen videos of him in the 80s on Letterman, on Oprah. All this guy has ever said is, I love America. I love our country. Everybody's screwing us. China's screwing us. Everybody's screwing us. And now you're seeing what they're doing to him because he loves us.
Now, during the GOP primary, I was a Vivek Ramaswamy dude. And that's because Vivek wanted to get rid of the deep state. He wanted to get rid of the education system, the bureaucracy, the wet blanket over the economy and over everybody's lives. Now check out this take from Tyrus.
At this point, if we didn't see it coming, what have we been doing on TV for the last 6 years? We knew, I called it. I said he was getting on all 34. It didn't matter what the deal was. It was a trial of feelings. We found out that apparently he's not the greatest husband sometimes. Apparently you can go to jail for that now. We all should be afraid, men.
Yes.
Number one, that's another thing. But what they keep doing, and everyone's like, I like you. At first, when I heard it, I was disappointed. It had nothing to do with President Trump. It was just like, this is the system. This stuff happened in the 40s and 50s. It's not supposed to happen anymore.
Yeah.
And we watched it happen in real time. And even the De Niro thing outside, it's all part of the plan. And I even planned, I kept saying there's going to be the first time we're going to have a living, breathing martyr in this country. And that happened tonight. So, I'm ready to get mine on. Greg, I got my I'm calling it now. Trump 24 is pretty laid up and ready to go. You should be inspired. You should be, anytime you've ever been punched in the mouth, this should be a wake-up call to everyone anywhere, because if they can do it to a standing president, they can do it to anyone. They can do to a Mr. Wonderful who's trying to come in and create new jobs and be like, you know what, though? I don't like the way he votes. So me and my guys are going to get together and make sure he can't get a business here. So we should really, really pay attention. But they've excited. Usually you wouldn't get something like this made. This was a gift was sent to me. But you know what I'm saying? Now this is all it should be. Trump 24 with no riots. We don't do that anyways because we work in this country. But none of that. We don't need violence, nothing. We'll have a hell of a beer party when this is over, kegs around, and everyone get out and vote. And that's how you win. We don't need to flip cars and act a fool and be dumb. Be like, okay, take the punch in the mouth. President took it with class. We all should too. And just get ready I can't wait to get in line and vote. I'm excited.
It really is. That's the attitude.
Isn't it funny through adversity how it brings people together? And I get a sense that everyone's going to come out and get behind Donald Trump, because this unjust justice system it's like a landslide. It's like an avalanche. It's coming downhill at a great rate of knots to hit its target, and doesn't care who's in the way, who's standing in the way. They're going down too. And we've seen what they do. Any people around Trump, what they do, they go pick them off one by one, turn them against each other, and get them all pointing the finger back at Donald J. Trump. But I love that positive message from Tyrus. No, there's an easy way to win. Just go vote for Donald J. Trump. 2024. If you want to see justice again, you won't get it from Biden. There's only Donald J. Trump. Now here's a lady that doesn't mince her words, Judge Jeanine.
Look, I've devoted 3 decades to the criminal justice system. It really is, it breaks my heart. One of the things that struck me when I saw Alvin Bragg and his prosecutors, and they were like, you know, how does he feel? And that one, I told my prosecutors, whenever you convict someone, that's a sad day for a family. It's a sad day for an individual. Something terrible has happened. And the glee that we're seeing, as far as I'm concerned, is un-American. And this is a sad day for America. We went over a cliff. We had a judge who was handpicked in a case that was taken out of turn so that it would occur before the election, and a magic show with a porn star and a serial perjurer. No one knew what the crimes were. And in the end, someone asked, is this, you know, was the Constitution violated? Yes, the First Amendment as it related to the gag order. The Fifth Amendment as it related to whether or not Donald Trump even had any idea of what the charges were. The Sixth Amendment as it related to whether or not those charges had to be unanimous as it related to the unknown crimes. All of this is reversible. This is a case riddled with error. But more important, I think America needs to understand, we have convicted a former president of the United States of America on a crime that people don't even know what it means. In a environment where 85% of the people are anti-Trump. This is something that we have to step back and say, we are too good for this. And we'll win on appeal. There's no question about it. I know this. I know this trial. I know this case. I know the law. We win on appeal. But they have used their power, their hunger for power, and their hunger to be in control to destroy a man who was the strongest man I've ever met, to put some half-wit in the White House. And I don't mean to call him that. That's not fair either. But the truth is they had to do this because Donald Trump was winning with women, with minorities, with the underserved. And he is the guy that America is relying on right now to stand up and say, I can be strong for all of you.
Yeah, you just heard Tom Blanche say they impaneled this grand jury to resuscitate this case just moments after Donald Trump announced he was running for re-election. You were in the courtroom for a few days, and you know Donald Trump. You've known him personally. What experience is that like? If you're running for president, you're a billionaire, and you're in a cage for 6 weeks. You can't move. You can barely talk from the heart, as he likes to do. How do you think he processed this whole thing?
I think what most people don't understand about the man that they're trying to villainize, the man that a jury convicted based upon what the judge told him was the thing to do, is that he is the strongest man you will ever meet. This is a man who, under duress, is energized. This is a man who goes into a cage to take a stick and put it in the eye of the tiger. That's Donald Trump. And if anything, it's energizing him and it will energize his base. And in America, we have to stand up and say, we are not a third world country. We are not a place where we indict our enemies in order to interfere with an election and then call the indictment and conviction election interference. You know, this is a country that's too good for all this. And hopefully America will recognize that on November 4th.
We are
5th.
Too good for this. Vote early. Vote early. You can vote early now. You can vote for 6 weeks before the election.
Yes, early, but not often.
Right, not
Just
often.
early.
Not often. Thank you so much, Judge. I'll see you tomorrow on the 5.
Yeah.
This is turning out to be a laughing stock all over the globe. This whole thing is looking like a banana republic, and it's so damn obvious. And I thought Joe Biden was going to come out and speak.
Let's bring in White House correspondent Peter Doocy. All right, Peter, so we heard that the president was going to say something tonight, and then he backtracked. What happened?
Good question, Jesse. The White House gave us a lid at 9:53 this morning, and they never lifted it. President Biden remains in Rehoboth Beach with his family, but somebody in Wilmington with access to the email list sent out a text, a fundraising text to every number that they had, and part of it said, despite a jury finding Donald Trump guilty today, there is still only one way to keep Donald Trump out of the Oval Office, at the ballot box. And then they go on, if you have been waiting for the perfect time to make your first donation to Joe Biden's re-election campaign, we're here to tell you today is the day. We had been led to believe over the last couple of days that the White House may quickly start branding the former president as convicted felon Donald Trump if this happened, but that has not happened. The White House special counsel is telling us they respect the rule of law, no further comment, and a campaign official in Wilmington is telling us Donald Trump has always mistakenly believed he would never face consequences for breaking the law for his own personal gain. But today's verdict does not change the fact that the American people face a simple reality. There is still only one way to keep Donald Trump out of the Oval Office at the ballot box, convicted felon or not. Trump will be the Republican nominee for president. But by President Biden not talking, which we thought he was going to when this verdict came down, that means that Donald Trump can come out and say Joe Biden is doing this to bruise a political opponent, and President Biden is not giving a rebuttal, at least not yet. We looked at the schedule for tomorrow. We don't know when he would. So I'm sure it'll happen at some point. But when all the eyeballs are on this exact story and this event, nothing from the president.
All right. He's always moved a little slowly, Joe Biden has. Maybe give you an opportunity to catch him one of these days. Peter Ducey, good luck out there.
Thanks, Jesse.
Move slowly. What an understatement. This guy's like death warmed up. Now, obviously, he's been given advice not to stir the pot, not to come out and call him a convicted felon, but give it a minute. He'll do something to put his foot in his mouth. Now, this whole case is a joke. What better way to finish than on a little bit of comedy?
Joe, what do you think? You have a lot of adversaries, and yet you have no energy.
What I've learned from this is that I'm not going to give sex workers hush money anymore. It's a waste. The Soviets used to say, show me the man and I'll show you the crime. We didn't even get that. They just showed him the man. I don't know what the instructions were to the jury. They said, go in the jury room and if you find a crime, that's good enough. That's close enough. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them because this whole trial was set up to funnel them. That's why, in a way, I'm more bummed that we are not upset and shocked by this.
Yeah.
Because we saw this was the only way this was going to play out. Everything was set up. They turned misdemeanors into felonies. They turned one count into 34. They just kept using this form of lawfare. And it's horrible. It's really bad. And I want the people who are cheering for this now, this always comes back around. And if they think, well, we can weaponize the legal system and the IRS when we're in charge, that'll never come back to bite us. It will. It will. And that's why we don't do this in a free country.
So there you have it, fam. This thing is a sham. But there's a lot of energy going around, I've noticed. I think people are going to come out in their millions to support Trump. He's already broken the internet with his website, the website where people go to make donations. Now, I like what Tyra said earlier. Just get out there, vote. Get out there and support whichever way you can. While Donald Trump's working, these guys are throwing in sucker punches. They're blindsiding him. They're undercutting him. And all he's trying to do is bring the country together to make it what he says, to make the country great again, to make America great again. All Biden can do is preach hate. Try and divide us. Color, sexual orientation, ethnicity, religion, what flavor ice cream you like, it doesn't matter. He's just looking for anything that can divide us. This guy should never have been in office, but he's a puppet, he's a tool. He's a yes man. He's not a leader, he's fragile. Now, I'm really optimistic. As long as Donald Trump's still standing and still breathing, I'm sure everyone's going to rally around him. The country needs it, the world needs it. Peace and prosperity. Hey fam, leave your thoughts in the comment section. I'll jump in there as I normally do. Now, if you like this content, don't forget to hit the like, smash the subscribe, ring the notification bell. And thank you so much for getting us into that 1,000 sub club. Keep safe, keep peaceful, and I'll catch you in the next video.